Здравейте на всички. Докато чакаме хората да се присъединят, ще пуснем едно видео, за да може да заграем с него. Well, Hannah, could you please play the video?
Rood. Je scoort aanval mooi. De Belgische patatjes zijn gebakken en we liggen eerste uit.
Ik heb er zeker zin in. Dit is natuurlijk waar we al een jaar lang naar uitkijken. Nu mag het eindelijk mag het echt beginnen.
University of Twente is een team van 19 studenten van de Saxion Hogeschool en de Universiteit Twente. We bouwen een zonneauto waarmee we in Australië 3000 kilometer rijden dwars door de woestijn. Maar dit doen we natuurlijk niet alleen. Dit doen we samen met een heel groot partnernetwerk van meer dan 170 partners.
We hebben afgelopen editie best wel veel teambuilding gedaan. Je komt namelijk als team net met allemaal nieuwe mensen bij elkaar en dat is best wel intensief omdat je heel erg hard met elkaar moet gaan samenwerken. Het is best wel belangrijk dat je elkaar daarbij goed gaat leren kennen. Maar ik denk dat de meest bijzondere teambuilding wel de European Solar Challenge was. We waren toen net 3 weken met het team bij elkaar, dus we kennen elkaar eigenlijk nog helemaal niet zo goed. En toen moesten we al met onze zonneauto over een circuit een race gaan rijden. Ja, het leukste verhaal daarin vind ik zelf dat we ook in tenten moesten slapen. En we hadden een tent geleend, alleen daarvan miste de zijkanten van de tent. Dus ja, dan moet je in één keer gaan bedenken van hoe gaan we dit oplossen. Uiteindelijk hebben we grondzijde langs de tenten gehangen om ervoor te zorgen dat we toch een beetje beschut konden slapen. Nou ja, dat zijn gewoon wel hele leuke dingen en daardoor leer je gewoon je teamgenoten heel erg goed kennen.
We rijden dan met de Redshift, 24 uur race in circuit Zolder, waar dan de bedoeling is om zoveel mogelijk rondjes te rijden.
Nou, eigenlijk zijn we vrij goed begonnen. Guido begon vanaf plek 4, dus hij moest rennen naar de auto toe. En snel erin zitten, maar dat ging eigenlijk allemaal vrij soepel en vlot, daar hadden we niet echt problemen mee. Toen heeft hij een uurtje lekker kunnen rijden. Nou, na een uurtje hadden we onze eerste coureurswissel. Daar hebben we met een team zijn we daarbij gaan staan en hebben we met z'n allen ervoor gezorgd dat dat gewoon allemaal vrij soepel ging. En daar hebben we gewoon goed op geoefend. Het moet binnen 5 minuten en na 2-3 minuutjes waren we eigenlijk al klaar.
We zitten nu in het 10e raceuur. We werden rond 9 uur vanavond gebeld door de coureur via de porto dat er iets mis was in de auto. Toen zijn we 10 minuten later zijn we begonnen met een controle. We hebben niks kunnen vinden en alles werkt nu weer naar behoren.
Добре. Добър вечер на всички. Благодаря ви, че отделяте от времето си за тази презентация. Аз се казвам Димитър Александров и съм представител на Агенция за образование в чужбина Skylines. Нашата роля е да организираме такъв тип събития, но и да ви запознаем с възможностите за обучение в различните дестинации, с които работим и партниращи университети. Но разбира се, нашата основна роля е да съдействаме на студентите в целия процес по набиране на информация, подготовка на документи, кандидатстване и при успешен прием вече вие ще разберете едно от големите предизвикателства в Холандия е намирането на настаняване. Всъщност ние помагаме и съдействаме в целият процес по успешното ви кандидатстване, прием и дай Боже вече да стигнете до предизвикателството с настаняване, с съвети и съдействие в това отношение. Като нашите услуги към студентите са напълно безплатни, така че възползвайте се от тях. Днеска сме аз и Ивелина тук, за да помагаме, ако има нужда в превод или в някакви подробности, които са свързани с успешното кандидатстване. Днес Хана и Ерик ще ни направят презентации и ще ни разкажат малко повече за възможностите за обучение в Twente University, а пък Влади, който е в момента студент, ще даде малко и вътрешна информация как се учи в самият университет. Well, Hannah, I think you can start your presentation now.
Thank you very much for the introduction. I will share my screen. So welcome everyone to the presentation of the University of Twente. My name is Hannah and I'm here today with Vladi, our Bulgarian student ambassador, who will share his experience from a student point of view with you today, and my colleague Erik. Please feel free to drop questions in the chat along the way, but we will also have moments in between that you can ask them and a big Q&A at the end. And yeah, we hope that we can help you a lot today in your orientation for your study program choice. Maybe to get a bit of an impression who we are here with today, also from your side, since we can't see you. Maybe in case you already know or have a bit of an idea, you can drop in the chat maybe what program you're interested in, or if you're looking for bachelor or master, so we know a bit like who is here around. What you can expect in this presentation is first an introduction about our university. Then Vladi will tell you about student life in Enschede, the city where we're located. We will talk about sports and culture facilities on campus, and I will give you all the info that you will need to prepare and how to actually get here. So yeah, we will cover all these kind of topics. Please feel free to drop the questions already, but then you know we can discuss them at those certain moments. Let's start with the introduction. Why actually coming to the Netherlands? Well, you probably made up your mind already a bit since you're here today and join us. Yeah, I want to tell you a bit about what might be reasons to study in the Netherlands, what to expect when you come here. And first of all, well, you're looking for a study, and in the Netherlands, there's really a huge offer with a wide variety of programs completely in English. So also we have, out of our 20 bachelor programs, 16 are taught in English, and you have high quality education in an international environment. Also the Dutch speak very well English, so you will get along from the first moment with English. You will find your way. You do not need to speak Dutch to get along in everyday life. Of course, it's nice, and there are options to learn it. Also, in our language center, for example, but you don't have to. Yeah, it's really a nice place to live. It's super safe and there's good infrastructure. It's easy to travel through the country. We can look at the map here. The University of Twente is located in the east, in the city of Enschede. And in the west, you see Amsterdam, where it's Schiphol Airport, the international airport located, and it's really easy to reach by train. Also for weekend trips or wherever you want to go, yeah, it's easy to reach. We are really close, located to the border of Germany. So also there you can travel, but also maybe to get here, you could come via Düsseldorf International Airport, which is also very close by. Then in the Netherlands, there are plenty of work opportunities, career opportunities. We have in Enschede also across the campus, an area where a lot of companies are located because they look for the graduates of our university, or where also students can work or do an internship during their studies. And of course, there are plenty of options all around the country, also in international environments. So there's several good opportunities for you to build your future career with a study in the Netherlands. So you already located us here on the map in the east, but let's look at what we as University of Twente stand for. The core value is the high-tech human touch. That's how we call it. It means that the education, we look at it from a multidisciplinary perspective and trying to combine technology with behavioral and social sciences. That's something that comes back in the approach of teaching and in the different courses, but also in the vibe, let's say, around the university. And all of this resulted in us being one of the most entrepreneurial universities in Europe. There are many spin-off companies that were started by students and by alumni from the university, like Booking.com or Takeaway, to mention like big ones that you might know. And the entrepreneurship is really in the DNA, let's say, from the university, and also to encourage students to develop this spirit. And there's, for example, a startup hub Incubase on campus where students can get together and they can get support. And various initiatives where students can work on projects also with students from other backgrounds. Or like in the beginning, we showed a really short part of a movie from one of our student teams, the Solar Car. Also, those are initiatives where students with different backgrounds come together to work on create an impact on society by working on projects, by combining knowledge from different backgrounds. So if you're curious, I posted the link already in the chat. Then you can have a look at the movie later. Then one thing we stand for is that we offer really good guidance and tutoring during your studies. So it's just normal that you will need some help and here and there. And there are study advisors, study coordinators, always someone to go to support you with your studies. We also work a lot with teaching assistants, so students from higher years helping first year students, and all this happens on our campus. We are like the only really campus university in the Netherlands. It's sort of a full service place. It's very green. It's like a park, built like a park. So there's student housing on campus, but of course, all the study facilities, research centers. I think you will hear more about that later on when Vladdy tells about his student life. But that enables to really build a community on campus, and there we also have a lot of an international community, since we have a lot of international students coming to the University of Twente. So you will work, you will study together with students from various backgrounds. And all this is happening in a vibrant student city in Enschede. It's very lively, since there are many young people living here. Compared to really big cities in the Netherlands, it's rather small, but it's the biggest city here in the region, and actually everything you will need is in that city. For that, I have a little movie for you to give you a first impression of Enschede.
Hello and welcome to Enschede. High-tech city with over 25,000 students. This is the main shopping area where there's a variety of different shops, shoe shops, clothes shops, decoration, so you can find pretty much everything on one street. Enschede not only has 4 cinemas, but also lots of theatres where we can go and watch modern pieces, musicals, theatre pieces, and just enjoy a nice evening out. And there's lots of events here as well, like throughout the summertime there's lots of festivals in the city centre. Go and enjoy music, or there's a food festival, so there's literally for everybody something. This is the marketplace here in Enschede. It's on Tuesdays and Saturdays. It's really cheap. Students often come here to save money, buy the vegetables. Enschede offers a variety of different cafes and restaurants, like Turkish, like Lebanese, or sushi, and Greek, or Mexican, and many more. Lots of restaurants offer different dishes for every day. So the dish of the day on a Monday could be pasta, and then the dish of the day for the Tuesday could be pizza. This is the dish of the day. It changes daily, but it's super cheap, but also super good. There are multiple locations here in the city centre where you can go out and party. But I also enjoy the peace and quietness here at the park. Enschede is located in the eastern part of the Netherlands. We have 2 train stations here, which not only connect us to Amsterdam in like 2 hours, but also to the rest of Europe. I traveled many times to Amsterdam for day trips, but also to The Hague, just to get a general idea of the Netherlands as well. I mean, you can do day trips from here, leave early in the morning and then come back late at night, because the trains run till midnight or even later. From the city centre, it only takes 15 minutes by bike to travel to the UT campus. Cycling in the Netherlands, it's much safer, because here we have the red coloured cycling lanes. They separate the bicycle path from the cars and makes it that for much easier and safer to travel on our bikes. Like, I was quite surprised and happy that I've decided to come to Enschede. Once I moved here, I realized how many opportunities the city has, like different cultural things, but also restaurants, cafes. You don't have to go specifically to another city to have like the normal life.
This to give a first impression of the city where we're located in. Looking now at our study programs, here you can see the most popular programs among Bulgarian students at the moment, which is actually a huge population on our campus, with more than 120 students currently enrolled from Bulgaria. And as you can see, there are like a lot in programs like computer science, business, psychology, also in our engineering programs like industrial engineering and management, but also communication science. And to give you a complete overview about the programs that we offer, those are the, as earlier mentioned, 16 English taught bachelor programs. So for those, you will need no knowledge of the Dutch language. And they really range from engineering programs like electrical engineering, to IT programs like business information technology, combining business and computer science, to more like communication science, psychology from our faculty of behavioral science and social science. One thing that distinguishes us is our education model. We work with modules and very project-based works. A module is a package of courses of around a quarter of a year, so 10 to 12 weeks, where you have theoretical courses combined with practical sessions where you work in groups together with other students and directly use the knowledge that you learned in your theoretical courses. Those run parallel within that module, and each module is then closed with a project presentation or exams, and then a new module with a new sub-subject starts. And all those modules have 15 credit points that you achieve per module. And we handle a binding recommendation, which means that you have to pass a specific amount of these credit points within your first year to be allowed to transfer to the second year of your studies. So this is to make sure that you're in the right place and that you can keep on with the progress of your studies. So you have to achieve at least those 45 credit points. But also here, there are advisors, study advisors, there's tutoring. So in case that you have difficulties with your study progress, they look into it with you, together with you, they look into that, like what might be reasons to see how you can manage, or if maybe you discover, for example, that you're rather be in a different program. So then there might be also options to switch. And the education is also shared between programs. So the multidisciplinarity that I mentioned, that you might sit together with students in some courses from different programs, there's a lot of exchange. And one of the core things, what I just mentioned, is the projects. So maybe Vladi can give some examples on that when he talks about his study, or if you have questions about it. But it's really about developing the skills that you get from working with other students together on projects and on applying the theory that you just learned. So that's also why the theoretical courses run parallel with directly using the knowledge that you just learned. And that's what happens in these group projects, but can of course also include individual assignments. But that's something very relevant to be aware of. And when you choose for a program with us. To give a short glimpse on our masters, if you follow a bachelor at our university, you have access to the master afterwards. If you graduate successfully, there are also options if you discover throughout your bachelor that you're interested in a certain specialization in the master that might not be related right away to the program that you're following at that moment, that you can prepare during your bachelor's for a different master program. So during your bachelor's, you have in your third year a minor space, so an elective space where you can select other courses that you can, whatever based on what is offered, of course, that you can choose from, or maybe from another program, but also sometimes from another program to prepare for that master, so that you can enter in a different master. And we offer programs in various fields, of course, already many related to engineering. We have several master programs that have a specialization in data science. Several are connected to robotics or interaction technology. We have biomedical engineering and health programs. And of course, also the societal side, like communication science, business administration, and many sustainability related programs, or like spatial engineering. So if you're interested in one of the masters, I invite you to look in the details on our website, since almost each of the master has a lot of specializations. But I thought also, if you're now looking into a bachelor, it might be nice to know what the options are afterwards, since the bachelor will prepare you for those. And with that, I will move to Vladi to tell you about his life as a student. Welcome, Vladi. Thank you for joining.
For having me.
I think we would start with your video first, and after that you can tell more about your student life.
Hey guys, today we're going to talk a little bit about what it's like to be a Bulgarian student at the University of Twente. My name is Vladislav Avramov and I'm from Bulgaria, obviously. So, right now I'm doing my minor in cybersecurity and cybercrime, which is part of the third year of the program Technical Computer Science. I think I've learned quite a lot from the minor, but even more from the regular program. And with that said, I think the university gives you quite a lot of opportunities. You can look any direction you want, from sporting facilities to study facilities to associations and extracurricular stuff. You can do anything you like. Personally, I like to go and play some basketball and tennis in my free time. And thinking of that, I've made quite a lot of friends there. On the basketball court, often I'd go there and I just meet some people, play with them, then gather and just go out, hang out for some time, get to know each other and become friends. With that said, you can go and do quite a lot of things in the city center, but our favorite is just go to a bar, grab a couple of beers, then go play something and hang out. In other cases, we come to our house and we do a house party indoors. But since Corona came, we had to adapt a little bit our strategy and go online. Maybe play some games, watch a movie together, everybody from their rooms, and in this way we stay together. Having that in mind, I made a lot of friends, not only from Bulgaria, which you can think of course, I made a lot of friends from Bulgaria, but I also made a lot of friends from other countries, meaning from Brazil, Italy, Romania, and quite a lot of others, but those were the ones from the top of my head. And this is one of the most important things I think a university can do for a student. It can provide a very good international place to be, to meet people, to hang out with them, to get to know them, and to have a lot of contacts for the future. And in all those things, the University of Twente exceeds, let's say. And overall, with all the opportunities, all the things you can do, all the people you can meet, I think I made a very, very, very wise choice 2 years ago, and I sincerely hope to see you here maybe this year, maybe next year. Okay, I think this was it. If it wasn't clear enough, you're still free to ask me questions about what I said if you want me to repeat it one more time. But I will expand upon the things I was talking about. On the photos, on the first one, top left, you can see just the city center of Twente. Since, as I said, Corona came, we weren't able to go there much, and it was almost my entire study now. But since now everything's open, we are there almost every week. At the end of the week, we gather and go there with friends. On the second photo, down on the bottom left corner, you can see, as mentioned in the first video, that cycling is something very normal. It's something very supported. And I personally do it almost every day, going to my work or to campus. And it's quite easy to get there from any point. And it's also healthy. I've been actively, how can I say it? Actively finishing my daily scores for fitness since I started studying there. And on the middle photo, you can see probably my favorite place to work and study. I've done 2, maybe 3 projects fully on campus there, just going there, working with a couple of people in a room, also having some students and helping them as a teaching assistant. It's been it's an amazing place. It's the newest building on campus, and I personally love it. And on the bottom right corner, you can see something else that I'm just starting to venture into. It's some of the climbing places, and we have a very huge wall here on one of the buildings, which is for climbing, and it's like my goal to climb it one day. But yeah, more or less these are the things I wanted to tell you about. So if you have any questions regarding the study or what is it to be a student here, please drop them in the chat now, and otherwise after the presentation we'll check the questions and get back to you.
maybe we can have a look in the chat. I can't read all the questions myself. If there is something related to student life already, or
I'll also have a quick look.
I see the questions regarding programs. I suggest to address them later all together.
Yeah, probably at the end, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, the program-related ones will do at the end. So if you have any questions for student life or what can you do, yeah, feel free to jot them down.
Maybe we can, in the meantime, look at the sports and culture facilities. You already mentioned some. We also have a little video about all our sports facilities.
Hi, I'm Anne, and I'm currently a second year technical computer science student at the University of Twente. Doing sports at the University of Twente just gives you so many options, and being a student at the University of Twente, you can access lots of sport facilities that is provided by the UT. One of them you can see is the U-track that I'm standing right now, and there's also a basketball court and some other facilities such as the indoor and outdoor swimming pools, and there's also a volleyball pitch that is right behind the basketball court of the University of Twente. Of course, these are not the only options you have, and by having union card, you can even access lots of sport associations. You can do group classes to do sports with others and to motivate yourself, or you can get a gym subscription for yourself to do workouts at a gym that is located in the University of Twente. University of Twente just give us so many options that we just need to choose the one that suits our best. Hi, I'm Anne.
This to give an impression of what is there. You saw in the background also the sports, one of the sports fields on campus, and so there are various options. I think there's even the option if you miss something and you have 2-3 people that are interested in the same sports or whatever you might be interested in, then you can also start an association together. That happens as well. Maybe you have experienced something from students, Vladi, in that direction?
Yeah, I have quite a lot of friends of mine go to what you see on the left picture, which is the outside gym facilities or whatever they're named exactly. So they quite often go there. They've invited me a lot, but not really a fitness person myself. And I recently tried soccer fields since I haven't played soccer in a long time. So been there very, very soon. But yeah, more or less everything you can think of. I think we even have a dojo, which I haven't had the opportunity to go to. But even something like this we have, from swimming pools, dojos, whatever you can think of. There probably is a facility to do it. And as Hannah mentioned, an association, I heard for some very strange sports that started having some associations, or at least I heard we might have a frisbee one.
There's frisbee, I tried it.
It's very popular. We might have it one day, but yeah, more or less there are a lot of anything sport related. It's probably covered.
Yeah, frisbee I can recommend. It was fun.
Yeah,
and also when I was a student some years back, we have also canoe polo, for example, and then in the winter the training is in the inside pool with the boats to train, and then outside there's a rowing and canoe and sailing association, so all kind of boats on the water. Yeah, so there are plenty of options. Of course, you don't have to be a sports person. Just to show that there are many of options on what to do. There are also cultural facilities. So from if you like to play theater or make music, there are bands. There is a theater on campus where also like comedy nights take place, or everything you can think of, like movie nights and all. You can get active there or just visit it, whatever you like to. I think there are no questions coming in so far regarding student life, but more about now the practical stuff. So let's move to that. I see your questions. I will continue with how to actually get here. Let's see if some of the questions will already get answered, and otherwise we address them afterwards, also together with Vladi to talk about the differences in some programs. Maybe I saw some questions there, then we can go into those details. So what do you need to prepare? I already see what are the expensive and what costs a semester. So the tuition fees per semester are around 2,200 euros. For the first year, first year bachelor students, there's a halving of the tuition fees. So you will pay that from the second year on. And our bachelor program of the University College Twente, liberal arts and sciences, that costs a bit more, like 4,400. And there are no scholarships available for for bachelors, sorry. For masters there are. So in case you're interested in a master, I recommend you to have a look at our scholarship finder on the website, where you can filter on where you're from and which program you're looking for, and see if there might be options for you to get some financial support for your master. Then about the admission requirements, starting with the bachelor. Of course, you need your diploma, and within that, you need mathematics as matura exam. Also, we're currently looking together also with Skylines in the recent changes in the school system, and in how far that affects the amount of math that is required. But for sure, there's also the option to cover possible missing math requirements with additional tests, as stated here. Then next to that, we will need a proof of your English level, so to ensure that you will manage well. And this is the IELTS, the TOEFL, or the Cambridge with the scores mentioned on the sheet. And depending on the bachelor program, there might be also relevant subjects required, like for some of the engineering programs, you will also need physics. Then our numerus fixus programs have a separate selection procedure. I will explain that in a moment. And depending on program, there might be required a portfolio, or there's a matching procedure that you have to attend, always to make sure that there's the right fit between you and the program, and that you made up your mind and see if you match with the program. So here it really differs a bit per program what is needed. You can find the information on our website, and of course Skylines can support you in that. You can ask them for consult, and then they can look into it with you and also see based on your pre-education how you match with a program. For direct application to our masters, you will need your bachelor degree and also a language certificate with a bit different grades, a little bit higher as mentioned here as well. And the master applications will be all reviewed individually by the admission committees from the individual master programs, and they really dive into your pre-education and the courses that you had. So you will need your transcript of records, a motivation letter to show like why do you think the master program matches with your ambitions, and those are really also in detail described on the website, that you can see like what kind of pre-knowledge should I have had in my bachelor to be able to follow the master appropriately. For that, we created an e-check, so an online check that you find on the study program website, where you can fill in your pre-education, and the system will give you a first indication on your eligibility to that program. So I highly recommend to try that to get an impression. And also here, what I mentioned when I talked about the master programs, they are often quite close to each. Like there could be quite some similarities between programs when you look into the specializations. So like data science, for example, you can approach it from different, coming from different master programs. And there you could also then compare if you might not fit the profile of the one master program completely, you might fit better the other. So I really invite you to look into that. And I will also give you some tips at the end on how you get how to get more information. Then we have the deadlines. So until when do you need to upload everything? The deadline to complete all your application, I will go a bit in the steps and then in a slide after, is 1st of July. And then after that, our admission office will assess your application. And if you're eligible, you will receive an offer of admission that you have to accept by the 1st of August latest. And then by 1st of September, the study will start next year. And by then you will also have to hand in the final photocopies. So this is then the final step to really enroll and finish your application. Since this year, so this is newly introduced, we have a separate procedure for the two numerus fixus programs. The Bachelor in Psychology and the Bachelor in Technical Computer Science have a limited amount of places available. And that means that the application deadline is already in 15th January. So I already saw some questions. This is very important to keep in mind. That means that you have to finalize all, hand in all your documents or pre-documents, since you of course don't have your final school certificate yet in January, but that you have to hand it in by then. Recommended, if possible, even earlier. The earlier you hand it in before the deadline, the more time there is in case our admission office has any questions to you to clarify something. But that's really the final deadline. After that, a selection procedure will take place. That is, for example, for computer science, a questionnaire and an entrance exam. And based on that, there will be, the outcome will be scored. And then a ranking then there will be a ranking, and the first 400 people will get an offer. And then if you don't have an offer in the first round, that is not really, not right away a reason to freak out. There's still a good chance that you can get in, since those 400 people have to accept within 2 weeks. And then after 2 weeks, new places will get free because students decide for something different. They don't enroll in that time. And so the system will fill up those 400 places. That's why those deadlines are really important, since it is a constant system of filling those places. For psychology, it's similar. There's an online matching assessment and a test, for example, on methods. We invite you to look into that also on the website. It's really detailed, explained. Also, the dates of those tests are already known. So if you're interested in that program, please have a close look. Mark those dates in your calendar, since they will be essential to take part to be able to finalize your application procedure. And then, the deadline to upload your documents, like, for example, the math documents that I just mentioned, in case you will need them, if it's applicable, then that deadline for those will be 15th of May. And so those are the two programs that have a bit of deviating deadlines. For all other, it's 1st of July. Then we have here the steps of admission. This is an overview. Please, you can always reach out to Skylines to get support in this. They know our system. They know how to reach us in case there are questions. But also this overview shows how it's worked. StudyLink is the central system in the Netherlands to hand in any application to Dutch universities. So you start there and you will be connected with the system of our university, Osiris, where you hand in your documents and start your application. The system will walk you through the different steps, tell you what is needed, which documents, the deadlines. And then once you hand it in, it will reach our admission office. They might ask you for additional information in case it's not complete yet, and you will receive your results based on the indicated time frame when you can expect your results. So also here, side note, if you applied for psychology or computer science, keep an eye on your mails in the indicated time, because you will, if you get an offer, you have 2 weeks to accept. If you don't accept, the place will be gone. So this is really important to keep in mind. Well, if you get accepted, then most programs invite to a matching moment. And based on that, you will get your confirmation, and then the process of paying your tuition fees will start. And then it's also almost time to start your study, which always starts in the first week of September. This about the process. If there are questions, we will address them in the end. Let me see. One more point about preparation is the housing. We have a central place to search for rooms, which is RoomSpot. There are also alternatives, or via housing providers. Many students search via Facebook. But this RoomSpot place, there will be most houses in there. At this point, I would like to point out to be aware to start early enough. Like over the whole Netherlands, there's housing shortage, due to several developments in the market, and especially in summer in student cities, it was always a bit difficult. And we also see that in Enschede that it's getting more and more since more students are coming, and the housing market changed a bit. So we can't push enough to please start searching as early as you made your decision and you have your offer, to look already, also before summer, not just in August. So that as a tip already. I know it's early, but it's good to know that as early as possible. So before we go to the question round, let me round off with some tips for preparation. You can, if you want to know details about content from programs, I saw some questions. We will answer as much as possible today, but please be invited to our online orientation days, our online open days. They take place on 19 and 20 November this year. 19 November, Friday for masters, and 20 November, Saturday for bachelors. And there, all our study programs will go live for you. They will present their curriculum. There will be students telling their stories, and you can ask questions to them. You can get information about studying as international student at the university, chat with students. But especially if you also might want to compare programs, please be invited to join them, those online sessions. And of course, Vladi is also available after today. I now maybe jump one step too far, but he will first answer your questions today. But if you have questions later, you can find him in this Facebook portal for Bulgarian students. And we also have a website in Bulgarian. Please be invited to have a look there if you like to. And to close off the presentation, if you decide to come to our university, make sure you can come a few days earlier than the study will start, since we always have an introduction time, the kick-in, which is a bit more than a week, full of activities to get to know your fellow students, to have some fun, to arrive at your new place. And it's also the time to get to know the study program staff, to get your timetable, information about books, facilities, everything. So make sure that you arrive a little bit in advance if you have the chance to. With that, I thank you for listening to the presentation, and we will move to the questions from the chat. So Vladi, I'm not sure if you had already a look of all the questions that came in. I just saw them popping up. Do you have an idea where to start?
Yeah, we can start at the beginning, I think.
Good.
Okay, difference between creative technology and technical computer science. I will be vague with the answer because there are a lot of differences since they're different programs. But the biggest one is that in technical computer science, you study mainly computer science stuff, programming, designing, systems, and mathematics. while in creative, you also study some society studies, I think. I don't know how to phrase them exactly, but yeah, for those you can see the exact differences on the website.
Yeah, maybe to add, it's really creative technology is a mixture of electrical engineering, computer science, and design. So it's really a combination of these three programs. And maybe in this case, if you really want to compare programs, what I just mentioned, to maybe join this open day to be able to hear the story of those different programs and compare them.
Yeah, in the open days, for sure, all of them will be discussed in much more detail.
Yeah, maybe just as a note, if you like to, you can also answer questions in Bulgarian. But if you like me to fill in, then I need some translation.
Okay. Question, is there a cybersecurity specialty for master's degree? The answer is yes.
Yes, within the computer science master. Yeah.
Yeah. In the computer science master, of course, there is the specialty. So yeah.
Yeah.
That's the answer. Okay, what is the price? We mentioned this. Housing, we mentioned this. Is this the final job? This is, how can I say it? It depends what you exactly want to do. For me personally, it was fine since I'm working as a software engineer, but this is something that's looked for a lot. I don't know for every single job, but in general, I think there are for sure opportunities, even in the university, as for example, a teaching assistant. Yeah, there are opportunities. Could you tell me more about the entrance exam? About the entrance exam, I haven't done it. I haven't designed it, but I think maybe, yeah, Hannah is posting right now some links. Maybe you can also post the ones for the numerous fixes, psychology, and the TCS one.
Yeah, I will do that.
It'll be easier to use them. For sure, in those links, you can see when in the programs that we have entrance exams for. And I think for both, I'm looking right now at the TCS one, and there are at the bottom of the page, we have some ways to prepare for the exams. So yeah, I'd say just go there and look there. All of the materials and things suggested are there.
Yeah, it's a really new process. So actually, no student has gone through that before, since
exactly.
we didn't have a numerous fixes so far. Yeah. One of the reasons behind having a numerous fixes is also that each student can get enough attention, and that the group size is in a way that you can have a proper education. So in that sense, they will select based on your pre-knowledge. And on the website, it's explained in detail. Also, there are some tips on how to prepare for those tests and what topics will be asked. And once you apply, you will also get more information by the programs via email. So.
Okay, now before I continue, there is in the Q&A a question for you, Hannah, specifically.
Okay, let me see, because I was looking for the links now. Where do I have to go?
Down, there should be next to the chat a Q&A button.
Okay, thank you. Who am I? Oh, sorry, maybe my introduction was a bit too short. Yeah, I can of course do that. Yeah, I work for the University of Twente in our international marketing. So one part of my task is to tell you about the options that you have and to help you in your selection, in your process to find the right study. And I'm originally from Germany and came here to the University of Twente myself as an international student some years back to do my master's degree in communication science. So I'm an alumna, and yeah, now I work for some years for the university. And I I enjoy the same things as Embryo as I did as a student. It's a really nice environment and very familiar. It feels like a really friendly and like big families. I feel really well here, and that's why I really like what I do, and I hope that I can help you today. The other one I see.
Yeah, the other one is probably not for us.
Let me see. It's fashion design. I think questions that are like we don't offer something with fashion design at our university. So I think that that's maybe a question that you can discuss with Skylines after this webinar.
Yeah.
So they can have a look with you in options within the Netherlands. I also saw a similar question somewhere else about game design. That's also something that we don't offer as a bachelor program at the University of Twente. So also here for opportunities in the Netherlands, please talk to the people from Skylines to help you with that.
Okay, next one. What kind of job opportunities could I pursue after a bachelor in creative technology? Hannah, maybe you can give us some info for creative?
Yeah, well, creative technology is really broad. So it's sort of everything that is related to IT, to finding design solutions for how to express that. Everything where you need engineering solutions for problems that people might have in various fields like health, but also design solutions for companies. I think it's best to read through some projects examples that they have. I will also post you something in a moment. I mean, many students follow a master after, and then they specialize in one of the different areas. But also, we see quite some students that start their own company already. So that's also quite common thing to do after creative technology. There are people with a lot of own ideas, but of course, it's not a requirement. I would search something for you.
While you search it, I'll go to the next one. Big EBA question. I won't read the whole thing, but I'll answer it part by part. So the first thing asked there is, what is it that, what EBA is technically done with? What is technically happening on the technical side? What's happening in IBA? I have a couple of friends there, so the technical part is that you also learn some mathematics and how to apply them with certain software programs, if I can say it like this. You learn some special software to be used, which is some of the technical part on how to analyze some things, how to interpret some things. So this is the technical part. I don't think there is much programming, except if you don't do a programming minor, which is something that you'll choose. So from the core modules, I don't think there's any programming and the like. And this is a more general question. If we put a lot of emphasis on projects, and this I can answer even from personal experience. Yes, at DUT, we do a lot of projects. And this is, I think, this is probably the best thing about the university, because you do every single thing that you study, you do it in a project. I've had projects in every single module that I've done, from software writing to some reports to learning how to work with people. From any practical point of view, we have a project. So yeah, especially in TCS, I know I've had some specific programming project every single module. They are different, of course, because they're on different topics, but there are always projects, always assignments, always something to put what you learned. For example, you have a lecture in the morning and then you practice it in the afternoon. So you learn something theoretical and immediately apply it in something practical.
Maybe you can give an example of what your favorite project was.
As an example, I think the one that I learned most from was Module 4 in my first year, when we developed a whole database with a whole front end, and we integrated them. So we created one big system. So yeah, this was, I think, and this was done by having every single day a stand-up meeting of 15 minutes. So there was the real life aspect to it, because in the company that I work in, we have a stand-up meeting every single day. So I was quite used to it. And yeah, I think this was my favorite one. Then again, one more for the cybersecurity master's specialty. Yeah, answered it.
I shared a link in the chat to the specializations of computer science.
Yeah.
Then you can dive into the details.
Let me read the next one. It's something with the bachelor degree and something for master's, I think.
Master's degree. The question is also like, how long is a master's program and which one is appropriate? On the master programs are 2 years, most of them. Like the technical and engineering programs are 2 years, and the ones from the faculty with business and social science, those are 1 year. The BIT, Business Information Technology program, and computer science, those are 2 years, and which one is appropriate really depends on what you want to do with it afterwards. So I would invite you to have a look also at the specializations that they offer, and we have on our websites also career perspectives described, so you could compare what would be your job options when you follow the business information technology master with a certain specializations, or the computer science master, and then see like where do you see yourself more. And about eligibility, you can do this e-check that I mentioned and see if you would be actually eligible to each of those masters, or if it's maybe rather for the one than for the other, you can maybe find your way through that master. Can a student work while studying in the Netherlands? You already mentioned something about that, right?
Yep.
Yeah. Can I go on?
I think the next one you can give a better answer to is physics needed in the 11th and 12th grade for mechanical engineering?
Mechanical engineering is requiring physics. Yeah, I would check.
Well, you check. The next question is again for the specifics on the entrance exams, and yeah, you can see the links that Hannah shared. There is all the info needed for the whole procedure for TCS specifically.
Yeah, so the bachelor mechanical engineering requires good grades, yeah, in mathematics and in physics. So here we're looking together with our admission office and also together with Skylines into which Maturas exams and which additional exams might be needed, since there were some changes in the system. So please stay in contact with Skylines to have the proper information here if you need additional exams on
it. Okay. Will an application be considered if a student submits everything except for the English certificate? I think, yeah, but it should be uploaded before the deadline.
Everything needs to be uploaded before the deadline. Yeah. Also the English test. Yeah.
Yeah. An application can be filled in partly, but it should be fully filled in before the deadline. What are the rent prices compared to other cities in the Netherlands? I cannot say in solid numbers, but I can say they are lower for sure than other cities.
They're comparably lower.
Yeah, comparably they are lower. Yeah.
I think an average price is around 310 euros. But it might be that changed in the last year. But that's a bit average.
It was like this last year, but this is just placeholder. It's around this sum. Give me a moment for this in Bulgarian. Okay, Hannah, may I answer this one in Bulgarian?
Of course, yeah.
Въпросът е на Олга. Въпросът е отново за това, че предвид новата програма, нали, има нови дипломи и така нататък, цялото нещо. Ние сме наясно с въпросната ситуация. Сега, така да го кажем, топката сме прехвърлили вече в нашето министерство, от което чакаме да се намери някой да отговори. Защото холандците са доста точни хора и държат да има нещо, което е написано и ясно и казано как е. Така че работи се и би трябвало скоро да имаме отговор, но все пак следете редовно и сайта, и хората от Skyline също ще могат да ви кажат в скоро време, но това е нещо, което трябва и Министерството да ни отговори, за да можем да го кажем. Ние нямаме сигурен отговор на това. Okay, next one. Since you get to choose multiple courses,
I can answer that one.
Yeah, okay, go.
The bachelor program of liberal arts and sciences is from the University College Twente. And the courses are not less in depth than in other programs, but actually harder to study. So the harder in the sense of more. And the program is really targeted to people that are interested broadly and want to work hard. And it prepares you, maybe to give you an example, it prepares you as good that you can directly enter almost all master programs. So no matter if it's business administration or an engineering program. So in that sense, you have to be willing to study hard, but it's also has a bit of a different concept and learning concept, the way how they teach. So that program differs a bit from what I described about the module system for all the other programs. And if you're interested there in really details and how it looks like, please also come to visit the open days. They will explain all in detail how the program is structured and how hard it is, how much time it costs, these kind of things.
And the last one for now. What kind of diploma do you obtain in TCS? It is HBO, right?
No, HBO is actually University of Applied Sciences. So we are a research university, so you obtain a Bachelor of Science degree.
So it's the full, it's the full one.
Yeah. So we are a full research university. So you receive a Bachelor of Science. And for the master programs, a Master of Science degree. Did we cover all questions? I'm not sure about the ones that were written in.
I think we covered also those in Bulgarian. If there are still some questions, feel free to type them in English, Bulgarian, anything you want.
Maybe to share with you the sign-up page for the open days that I mentioned now a few times. You can sign up on this website. It's really if you have in-depth question for one of the programs that we couldn't answer yet, or you want to compare, then this is a good way to go. if you have questions about all the admission requirements, or also to get advice on which way to go, what to choose. If you run into any difficulties, you can always contact Skylines for that, and they are in contact with us if so we can help for any in any cases that you might run into. Let's see. Yeah, please be invited to drop more questions, but I think did we handle everything?
I think so.
Yeah, well, I think so as well. You've covered everything. I would like just to mention that we will send a follow-up email to all the registered participants, and we will send these links about the open days, entry requirements, and deadlines, including the presentation that you have just given.
It's going to be a recording of the presentation, so it's all the answers, questions, everything.
Yeah, nice.
Well, here probably we should say thank you very much, Hannah. Thank you, Vladi, for the great presentation.
You're welcome. Hope we could help.
And we'll be in touch.
Yeah, have a good day, everyone.
Thank you. You too.
Bye.
Goodbye.